I'm gonna go over 4 of what I think are the most important weight loss tips. Enjoy. Number 1 is to prepare your own meals. This is like what every single great diet book, no matter if it's like a keto diet or if it's like a plant-based diet or low carb, whatever, all of these diet books have one thing in common, is they all want you to prepare your own meals. When you eat out at a restaurant, especially if you're really, really hungry, you don't have control over what they are putting in the food. So you don't have control over the calories, and when you're really, really hungry and they put the bread in front of you or the tortilla chips, and then they're putting this huge meal in front of you full of calories, like 30% more calories than you would eat at home, you will be tempted to eat the whole thing, and that is just terrible if you're trying to lose weight. If you enjoy eating out at restaurants, try to limit it to maximum of 1 time per week. If you could go less, that's even better. I understand we are social animals and we like to enjoy a social meal out with some other people. Just try not to make it a habit of doing it more than once a week. Number 2 is to eat foods that are gonna help you maintain a healthy gut microbiome. And if you are unfamiliar with the microbiome, I put some links to some videos I made down in the comments that give you more insight into the microbiome. But just in summary, it is all of the microorganisms that live in your gut. So bacteria, yeast, viruses, and other organisms. And studies show that people who have a more diverse gut microbiome, meaning you have many different species of organisms versus only a few different species, people who have a diverse microbiome generally are more healthy and have their weight under control. And maybe the reason for this is these organisms produce specific digestive enzymes to help you break down the food, or maybe it is that if you have too much of the wrong species of microorganisms in your gut, they make you crave certain foods, which may be like foods that make you gain weight, like sugary things. In order to maintain a healthy gut microbiome, you need to be increasing your dietary intake of fiber, because it is the fiber which feeds these organisms. And in order to have a variety of different species of microorganisms colonizing your gut, you need to be eating a large variety of different plants. So go through all of the plants that you ate last week and try to count up and see if you ate at least 30 different species of plants, and that should be a goal. Aim for eating at least 30 different species of plants per week. Number 3 is time-restricted eating. You want to set up an eating schedule because we are rhythmic animals. We should go to bed and wake up at the same time. Women have their menstrual cycles on a rhythm, usually with the moon cycle, or it used to be when we lived outdoors. We produce certain hormones at certain times of the day and certain times of the month. And we produce hunger hormones based on our last 7 days eating pattern. And this is one of the most important ones for this video. Because if you, let's say you eat every 2 hours, your body is going to produce hunger hormones every 2 hours, and that you're just gonna get stuck in that cycle. And you may, if you're in that cycle right now, you may be thinking, yeah, I don't know how I would ever do time-restricted eating because I'm hungry like every 2 hours. Well, just let me assure you that whenever you change your eating pattern, that those hormones will sync up after about 7 days. So about 7 days of hell to get through, but when you get there, you will only be hungry at those times you're eating. And the times where you should be eating, it's different for other people. You could try different things, but for most folks, 3 meals a day, eaten at the same time every day, maybe at 7, noon, and 5, no snacking in between. That way you're only hungry at those 3 times per day. Other people may get away with just eating 2 meals per day, and other people do other more intermittent fasting type things, and it just depends on what you find works the best for you. But for most folks, 3 meals per day, no snacking in between. If you eat too frequently, number one, you may be prone to overeating, eating more calories per day. And number two, if you eat too frequently, you may end up feeding unfavorable species of microorganisms that could eventually start to colonize your small intestine. Now, in your small intestine, that's where your body does the most absorbing of nutrients. So you don't want to be feeding microbes in your small intestine. You don't want them to colonize that area because they will be stealing your nutrients, which would result in you just being hungrier and hungrier. So that's the point of the time restricted eating, because you take longer breaks in between the meals. You can survive longer without food than the microorganisms in your gut. The fourth one is to exercise regularly. Now, you don't have to be like a Olympic athlete. You don't have to do these crazy workouts. You just need to be consistent. And by consistent, I say do some type of organized physical activity, meaning you put on your workout clothes and you do an organized workout for at least 5 days per week. And if you wonder why it is important to do exercise, let's talk a little bit about the carbon cycle. So when you lose weight, when you're going through your weight loss journey, the weight that you lose is lost as carbon dioxide. Okay? Seems kind of counterintuitive because you think it's a gas, it doesn't, what kind of weight could you be losing from a gas? It adds up. So whenever we eat food, we're basically eating a bunch of carbon atoms that are organized in different ways, mainly in fats and glucose, and some in our proteins. And your body changes those, extracts energy out of those bonds that hold those molecules together, and the waste product that is formed is CO2, carbon dioxide, which you breathe out. So when you exercise regularly, you're going through a period of time per day where you're going to be exhaling a higher concentration of carbon dioxide, and with every breath, that is weight that you are losing. This all seems pretty basic. It's just a matter of getting yourself to do it and exercising your willpower. If you like the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you don't miss out on more videos like this one. I thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.